Hey everybody, it's Izzy. You guys are still in a shelf, so sorry for kind of cuts off my forehead, but I did a lot. So I know my makeup looks like SH, y'all can spell the rest, because if you've been on my channel long enough, you know I can't do makeup for the death of me, because these dark circles, there's no concealer or a foundation that is dark enough to cover them. Like, I put on literally like 5 coats of the Kat Von D concealer, and then I put on foundation over that. Yeah, I can't fix it. I don't know how. It's their plastic surgery for your dark eyes, the dark circles. And I've done face masks and everything. Nothing seems to fix it. So there's that. I closed my blinds today in hopes that it won't be too dark or too bright on the camera, because it's usually too bright. But then when I moved down the exposure, it was really dark. So hopefully we have those problems fixed. And yeah. So let's get into this video. I'm going to be showing y'all the books that I have bought this month in September. Here we go. So this isn't in like the order I bought them. It may be, I don't know. You can see all the empty spaces on my shelf. But the first one I got is The Lady of the Rivers by Philippa Gregory. I always want to say Greyjoy, but I know it's not Greyjoy. So this is The White Queen is a BBC TV series, and I actually started watching it a while back, and I didn't realize it was based on these books, even though on the show, like after the episode, it tells you. I never picked that up. So I got this book, and it is about the White Queen's mother, who was the Lady of the Rivers. And so I'm almost bad at giving the description, because I don't get in book videos how people, they can give such a good synopsis, and I'm like, you haven't even read the book yet, how can you do that? So this starts out in 1435 in, I don't know, it says Jaquetta, I correct my pronunciation, Luxembourg is her last name, like the country. Is of a wealthy young widow when her husband, Duke of Bedford, dies. And so basically she gets with Richard Woodville, and that's very frowned upon because he was a squire to the Duke. And so their children are frowned upon because like they married in secret and all that. So they return to England and to the Lancaster court. And she becomes good friends with the Queen at the time. So yeah, so she's sensing that there's a threat happening, and that the War of the Roses. So that's what this book is about. And Elizabeth Woodville is her, the White Queen, is somebody that you definitely probably learned about in my English class, in history class. So the quote that it has on the top is, "This is a man's world, Jaquetta, and some women cannot march to the beat of a man's drum. Do you understand?" So I really love Tudor Plantagenet era books, so I'm very excited to read this. And I got that on Amazon, and it was a different cover on Amazon, so when I got that I was like, oh my gosh, those are the people from the show I watch. But yeah, our next one is The Forgotten Legion. I actually was watching a YouTube video about different theories about this place in China, where the people are very Caucasian looking, and some think that they are descendants of a Roman legion that was lost or forgotten. So this book it's just some very, very interesting. I got it on Amazon as well, but somebody in the comments was saying, oh, there's a novel about this and all. So this is the first book, and we have 4 different point of views, I think. I don't know if that's how you actually read it, I'm not sure. But there's like 4 different point of views. You have Romulus and Fabiola, and they are twins born into slavery. So I'm not sure, because I know Romulus, but I thought it was Remus, was the other one, are the twins who like birthed the Roman Empire, and the wolves raised them, but I don't think it's the same. So they're born into slaves. So Romulus goes to gladiator school, he's sold there, and his sister is sold to a brothel or prostitution. I saw the word brothel, that's what got me confused. So then we have Tarquinius is a, I can never say that, because like when I went to school, like when I was in school, I had to take a Bible class, and Etruscan, because if you didn't know the Bible, a lot of it takes place during the Roman Empire. But okay, so he's a warrior, and he's against Rome, his people are. And then we have Brennus, who is in Gaul, which if you don't know what Gaul is, that's like present-day France. And his clan was killed, his entire clan was killed, and then he's sold to be a gladiator. That kind of reminds me of the movie Pompeii with Kit Harington in it. That's one of my favorite movies. When I saw that movie, I was like, whoa. I really got into the Roman Empire. So I thought it would be interesting to read a book or a series that takes place during those times. If you can't tell, historical fiction is my favorite. Then we have Cleopatra. I saw this on Goodreads. So this is a nonfiction. This book will only take me like 3 days to read. And I got it at Barnes & Noble. And it's Cleopatra, A Life. I haven't been saying who these books are by, but y'all can see the book, so you can probably see the author on it. But this one is just about her life. And I think she's one of those interesting characters. Like, okay, y'all. She was like the Queen of Egypt. I think is Queen, Pharaohess, I'm not sure. Because I haven't read it yet. I'll learn once I read the book. So, she was obviously very rich, and then there was the political and sexual intrigue of her. She was married twice, both to brothers, and they died. And then, yeah, so she like did all this stuff to have them killed. And then she has children by both Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, two of Rome's most powerful men. And that's just like, oh my gosh, girl, you were getting with all those guys and all that. And they're like both very famous. So, yeah. So I think Cleopatra is one of the most interesting characters and women in history. And I'm very excited to learn actually more about her. So our next book, I got at Barnes & Noble as well. And it is set in Russia and Leningrad in the World War II. So this is The Bronze Horseman, a love story. And I'm going to be doing the audiobook of this because it is quite long and it should still take me like a long time to read this book. It'll take me like a month because this is like 800 and something pages. But yeah, so this takes place in Leningrad and when Hitler is coming in to attack Russia. And so it's these girls, Tatiana and Dasha Medanova, and they share a single cramped apartment with their brother and parents. And so Tatiana meets Alexander, a brave young officer in the Red Army. So I think that's Russia, the Red Army. And so that's the love story. And obviously during this, if you've never learned about Leningrad, not the nicest time. A lot is happening, and the Blitz is what's happening, the Blitzkrieg. And the German are sieging, the German are sieging the city, and then again, like Napoleon, Hitler was similar, attacking Russia in winter, not the best idea. So then there's a dangerous secret about Alexander, so who knows, I don't know. Ooh, I do have one theory, but I'm not gonna say it. So our next book, which I've already read, as well, takes place in Russia, but in modern times in Siberia. So this is about a girl named Adrian, and her father passed when she was young. She has a stepfather now who is a professor at one of the universities in Colorado, and he has been writing and trying to find this family, a hermit family in Siberia. Nobody knows if they are demons, witches, wizards, cannibals. Nobody is sure what they are because nobody has ever seen them. So his article gets debunked, and so he still believes in them. He doesn't care. And so they go to Russia, and she goes with him because she wants to be because she wants to be a reporter, and it's like this is like an article and a trip of a lifetime to go to Siberia. And obviously Siberia, as I was just talking about Russia, the nature is very difficult there. I don't know for a fact because I've never been, but from what I've heard, it's very difficult. And they're in summer, but still, Siberia is probably one of the most treacherous places ever on Earth. And so the trip doesn't go as planned. That's what happens in this book. I read so fast. It's so good. And in my August wrap up, I'll show this book as well. But y'all basically got the synopsis, and a lot of these other books will be in that video. So I'm ending it with a graphic novel I got on Amazon. It's the Darth Vader #3 comic book. Darth Vader is my favorite Star Wars character. I think his story of how he became Darth Vader is very, very interesting, and I feel like he's a very conflicted character. And I think sometimes he probably wishes he did die on Mustafar instead of becoming what he became. And I could go on and on about Darth Vader because he's probably one of my all-time favorite characters in anything, but I haven't got to read it yet. I've read the other ones, so I was very excited. I pre-ordered this and it got in on September 11th because that's the day it came out. And I will probably start reading that today because I should be finishing a book today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions of books for me to buy in October, tell me down below in the comments. I want one that's not a history related book because I have history, because some of these will lead me into October. So I'm gonna do a video one day of how I read, like what order I read my books in and how I choose what I'm reading next and all that. So as I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. Bye guys.